Hello, my name is Taryn Gerth, and I am a mentor on Robot Casserole First Robotics Competition Team 1736. Today, I will explain, show, and demonstrate formulas and functions in Excel and Google Sheets. Has this ever happened to you? I can't add up all of these numbers by hand. It's so hard counting each cell in a single year. Man, I don't like looking through spreadsheets for what I want every time. Danny, there must be another way.
Yes, there is. You can use formulas and functions. Excel spreadsheets can be used for data entry and storage, but more importantly, with formulas and functions, it can be used for data analysis. Google Sheets will be used in this video, but be aware that what we talk about could be used in both Excel and Google Sheets. One benefit of formulas and functions is that you can work faster. Like the saying goes, work smarter, not harder. In addition, if you have formulas and functions for certain cells and they happen to change, Google Sheets and Excel will do the math for you. How cool is that? No repeat math. All right, let's get into it. So, quick background on cell designation. Do you remember the board game Battleship? A1.
A hit! Yes! I sunk your battleship! Cell designation is essentially the same.
For a specific cell, you say the column first, which is a letter, for example, A, or two letters in some cases. Scroll over here, we got AA, which goes over 26 letters. And then you have the row, which is a number, which is 1. So, for example, you want this cell, its cell designation is A1. You can also do B1, C1, or A2, A3, B3, B2, and so on. Another thing that you can do is define a block of cells, which is called an array. An array in Excel is a structure that holds a collection of values. The array is defined by first starting with the upper left cell, for example, A1, then a semicolon, then the lower right cell, for example, B2. For example, here we can type in A1 semicolon B2, and then there's that little block. Or we can also input this by left clicking and dragging over to the array that you want, and there you go. Same thing. Now we get to what we're here for, formulas and functions. A formula is an expression which calculates a value of a cell. An example of this would be A1 plus A2. Functions are predefined formulas and are already available in Excel. An example of this would be sum of A1 semicolon A2. Each of these always start with an equal sign, then followed by either a formula or a function. Here are the formulas that we are going to go over: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Here are the functions that we are going to go over: sum, average, maximum and minimum, count and COUNTA, VLOOKUP, if, SUMIF, and COUNTIF. There are so many other functions that you can explore, but for this video, we're just going to go over the basic functions. I encourage you to look over these after the video. Look at all of these. First, we will do the add formula. We will type our equal sign first, so equals. Then let's say we want to add 1 plus 1. So 1 plus 1, and then we hit equals. Look at that, we get 2. But we can also add cells. So let's delete this and type 1 in A1, and 1 and A2. We go over here and we can type in equals A1 plus A2. Press equals. Look, we got the same answer of 2. But let's say we want to change A1 to 2. So we press 2 and equals, and look at that. Our Google Sheets did our math for us with 2 plus 1 equals 3. But let's say we want to do 3 cells. Let's say we want to put 3 in A3, like equals. And we can change this formula to do A1 plus A2 plus A3. See what happens. And look at that. We get 6.
The other formulas followed the same style with subtract with the minus sign, multiply with the star symbol, and divide with the backlash. Now for the functions.
Let's say that we are writing an add formula like we did before, and we have a bunch of cells like this. So we have A1, A2, A3, let's do 4, 5, and 6. And then you think,
Do I really have to manually input each cell one at a time? Well, Danny, you don't have to with the sum function. You can just create an array with the cells that you want. Just put equals, then sum, then open parentheses, then the cells that you want, then end parentheses.
to demonstrate our functions, I've made up a sample spreadsheet of some of the DVDs I have from home. Let's say that we want to add up the minutes of the whole collection to see how long I could entertain myself. So then we go over here and type equals, then sum, look, it appears, parentheses, the array that you want. So I want this array of the minutes of each movie. So I go down to here, and then I end parentheses, then I click equals, and look at that. I have 2,306 minutes, and look how fast that was. Then let's say we got one of the times wrong. So we find the cell that we messed up, and let's say this was 115 instead of 114. So click 115, click equals. Look at that. This number changed because it did the math for us.
Our next function is average.
Let's say we decided at some point that we wanted to know the average length of all the movies on this list. Similar to last time, we type enters, then average, then parentheses, then the array that we want, which is going to be the same as we did in the last time. Just to show you, there is one video at this end of this list, and then we hit end parentheses equals, and look at that. We got around 110 minutes if we round up. And again, that was very quick math.
Now we have maximum and minimum.
Let's say one day I was wondering what the longest movie that I had and the shortest movie that I had. For the longest, I would type like the other functions, equals, then I would type in max, open parentheses, then the array that I want. You do the same as the last two functions, end parentheses, and then click equals. Look at that. Longest movie I have is 142 minutes. And same with the shortest movie. So instead of max, I would do min equals 78 minutes. That is the shortest movie that I have. And there we go.
Next, we have the count functions. First, count function will count the number of cells with numeric values. Second, count a function will count the number of cells with text including numbers.
To demonstrate, let's say I can't be bothered to count the number of movies on this list myself. I can just use the count function. I can type equals, then count, open parentheses, and I can highlight the entire row by doing that. End parentheses, and look at that. I have 21 movies. But now if we do, let's say we do the count A function and click enter, 22. Now why is that? Because count counts the numbers in this row, and count A counts both numbers and text. So that is why there's one extra, because we have a cell that says length min.
Now, VLOOKUP. This function can allow us to look something up that is in the far left row and see the corresponding value in a designated row. VLOOKUP consists of equals VLOOKUP, then the cell with the information that we need, the table that you are using, the column number for the information you want to retrieve, and false for an exact match. You can put true for an approximate match, but that's a discussion for another time.
To demonstrate, let's say that I want to know the rating Jurassic Park is. So then I quickly type here, Jurassic Park. I click enter, and then we go ahead with our function. So we type in equals VLOOKUP, open parentheses, then we highlight what we just typed. So this cell, comma, then we have to highlight our entire table, just like that, comma, and we want to know the information in the third column that's related to Jurassic Park, which is indeed the ratings. Then we click comma, and then we type in false, because we want an exact match, not an approximate match. Then we click enter, and look at that, PG-13. Let's double check. Here's Jurassic Park. Oh, and look at that, PG-13. Isn't that awesome?
Next is the if function. The if function is very similar to if-then statements, like if I am tired, then I should sleep. In this function, you type equals, then if, open parentheses, the condition, then what you want to show when it's right, then you want to show when it's wrong, then end parentheses. The condition is the if-then statement. For the condition, first is the cell that you want the if statement to be applied, then a symbol, equals, numeric or text, greater than, less than, and, or, and then what to compare the cell to. For example, A equals 5. We could read this as if A1 equals 5, then ...
In the DVD example, let's say that we want to know if Maid of Honor was made in 2005. So then we click and enter, then if, then open parentheses, and then we find the year that's associated with Maid of Honor, which is 2008. So this cell, B11. Then we do the condition that we're trying to compare this to, which is equals, then 2005. Then we do a comma, and then this is important because we're going to put a text option, so we need to put this in quotations. So if it is true, then Google Sheets will put out yes, then we click comma, and then we want to designate what it'll say if it's false, which is this case, no. Do end parentheses, click equals, and look at that. It's not, because you know what? It was made in 2008.
Similar to the sum function, with the SUMIF function, you can add select cells based on a condition. It's basically the sum and if functions combined. The format follows with equals first, then SUMIF, then the set of cells that you want to select from for the condition, comma, condition for the first set of numbers, then the set of numbers that you want to add if the condition is true.
Let's say we want to know how long that I can entertain young children with a selection of movies on this list. In other words, what is the total number of minutes of the G-rated movies? So I would click enter, then SUMIF, open parentheses. Then I would select the C row because that is the ratings. Then I would click comma, put in the condition equals G because we want to know the G-rated movies. Then click comma. Then I would want to select the D column because that is the amount of minutes for these movies. Then I would do in parentheses, click enter, and look at that. It added it up for me, and it was only the G-rated movies.
And our last function that we will talk about is the COUNTIF function. This is similar to the SUMIF function, but instead of the if function being combined with the sum function, the if function is combined with the count function. And with that, it follows a similar format. First equals, then COUNTIF, then the set of cells that you want to select for the condition, comma, then the condition for that set of cells. That's it.
In our example, I want to know how many movies are PG-13. So I would type equals, then count if, open parentheses, then the column that I want to select, which is the ratings, column C, then comma, then the condition that I want to compare this list to, which is equals PG-13, then end quotations, end parentheses, and look at that. I have 8 PG-13 movies.
You can use these formulas and functions in multiple ways other than how we use them in our example. Robot Casserole uses them for faster data tracking and operations in spreadsheets. It's like, in this video, I taught you how to use a pencil. What to write is up to you. The possibilities are endless.
And there we go. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something from this video. For more great videos, or to learn more about Robot Casserole or FIRST, check out our YouTube channel and follow us on social media at FRC1736. Have a great day.